presentation about network automation project. My group mates are Kaushik, Mohammed, Bipun and Amulya. So moving on to the next slide, project overview. We are setting up a solution to eliminate the needs for manual routers, setting up a configuration using automated script tools. The configuration was sent to several routers at once by using Python and Ansible. With GNS3, I had a secure place to try out different things without affecting actual device. Using automation, the amount of error by workers can be limited and efficient is increased. To slide 3, tools were used as GNS3 was used to create a virtual environment with many Cisco routers. NetMiko was used to automate SSH and enable handle. The deployment of configuration using Python as the base language, the code was controlled with Git and GitHub saved in a remote location. Enable value was used to keep sensitive data such as passwords are secure. Network configuration becomes simpler and more automated because of the main goal. I hope to design a repeatable way to set up a router in a network. Security of user development credential was another main goal, and the changes had to be tracked using Git. The aim was to find out if manually or automated performance was better. So, the network topology. This is our hybrid network topology for configuring for testing. We use different set of routers, computers at the ends and a main server. With Open vSwitch, everything on the management plan is organized and connected by control traffic. The environment makes it convenient to use automation testing by ensuring it stays realistic and is easy to use. Playbook. The purpose of running at any time YAML files varies. Playbooks inventories used by input by and the process work in third-party data changes with Python and Jing 2 templates. Configuration generate and applies configuration with OS and forks. For running multiple processes at once, at the end, code is executed simultaneously on various hardware targets. From here, my friend will be continuing the next part.
Hello, this is Amulya. Now I'm going to explain the logic behind this Python script present in this slide. So the script in Python looks for IPs and access information and then SSH connects. A collection of base commands are sent covering the host name and interface plus routing. PowerShell takes care of unexpected errors and records the outcome for all connected devices. This gives instant information and support for fixing problems as they arise. Here is the system for assigning IP addresses to every device in the network. There are dynamic IP addresses covered in the 10.1 into range for the routers R1 to R4 and R11, R22 use dynamic IP addresses in the 192.168.x range. The servers for automation and TFTP have fixed IPs in the 192.168.111 into subnet, and the end host devices are given dynamic IPs in the 192.168.200 subnet. It lets the network work smoothly by directing communication and management correctly. Here we show below the details needed for router 1, 2, 3, 4, which are the IP addresses, login usernames, and SSH passwords. Both CRMLNX and CRMRCS use the same login, that is admin, and the same SSH password Cisco. The IP addresses in the subnet are numbered properly in a sequence. The data here looks like it is taken from a configuration file or similar document. So here we'll see the configuration process. So the setup used a Python script that was able to communicate through SSH with NetMiko. In Ansible, an inventory file listed all the devices and playbook made changes on them. Because of Jinja 2, it was easy to use the same base settings on all the devices. Because the design was modular, it could grow and adapt as needed. Thank you. The next slide will be continued by my friend.
So my part is like troubleshooting and testing in this assignment. So we ran connectivity, existing test and all routers after each one was deployed. And should a device not perform as expected, logs and debug messages help find the problem. Uh, Help and real-time updates could be found in the GNS3 console. This was like every system configuration was both correct and able to work. A command to send a ping from a host located in GNS3 and host 1 and towards the IP addresses 10.3.3 was executed. And coming to the FTPT connections test results, running configuration files of routers R1, R2 and R3 and R4 was successfully downloaded to the server via FTPT connections. The FTPT configuration directory in the script /pycharm projects folder stored the configurations. The test time cannot be seen in the pictures. And coming to the running configuration routers and ping results, 2 end host GNS3 end host 1 and GNS3 end host 2 and 4 routers R1, R2 and R3 and R22 are part of this scenario. The show IP interface brief command on R1 shows the interface and the IP addresses, subnet mask and current connections status in the terminal window. The IP command was run to see network interface. Data we showed the loopback interface and the in Ethernet interface with IP addresses 10.1.1.24. A ping test was run on the 10.3.0.3 and at least one successful reply was seen. The reply was 64 bytes. And the next slide is coming to the Git workflow. Script and config files were all tracked with Git for the version control. While developing, we stored code locally, and for the stable versions, we used GitHub. With each change, the author included a meaningful message to track the commit. This model helps people work together and allows changes to be quickly undone when something is wrong. Yeah.
So talking about the performance comparison, manual work took 35 minutes to finish, but the automation process took just 8 minutes. It takes about two-thirds less time now, but the productivity and scalability are improved when businesses automate. So at the last, talking about the conclusion and recommendation, after examining our result, we suggest that automate VLAN's interface configuration and routing to improve how efficient the system operates. GitLab or GitHub makes tracking and handling our network setting easier. Using CI or CD means Ansible runbooks will be implemented every time changes are made. Ansible Vault should encrypt any password used, and Nagios can be set up to run configuration when there are reports of network activity. Thank you.